Wow, it is Friday and I am feeling it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica. So happy that you could be here today. If you haven't checked out my last video where I give you my holiday gift book guide, my holiday book gift guide, go ahead and check that out because it seems like you guys really enjoyed that one. And as always, thank you so much for all of the support. While you're at it, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any videos that I post. Alright, so today I'm going to be doing a book review on this little gem right here, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Now, this one is a super popular fantasy book that came out a long time ago, like some years, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And everyone read it at that time, and I didn't. I bought it, but I never read it, and it's literally been sitting on my shelf for a very long time. So I decided to pick it up and finally give it a try and see what all the hype was about. If you guys are unfamiliar with Leigh Bardugo, she is the creator and author of the Shadow and Bone series and the whole Grishaverse. She is a fantasy author, and I believe her books are coming to Netflix. I think it's incorporating this one, Shadow and Bone, and maybe another one. I'm not sure, but I know that her books are coming to Netflix or making it into a TV series, which I'm actually super excited about because I did like the Shadow and Bone series. They weren't my favorite, but they were really fun to read. So I'm very excited about this next Netflix show that's going to be coming out. So without further ado, let's get into the plot. So this story focuses on 6 characters: Kaz, Inej, Jasper, Mateus, I believe his name is, Nina, and Wylan or Wiley, something like that. But anyway, they are in this group together. They call themselves the Dregs, and they're pretty much like these bandits who go around and steal things and pillage things, and they like pickpocket. And it reminds me very much of like Oliver Twist's gang mixed with Robin Hood, but a little bit more darker and dirtier and sexier. I don't know, but that's pretty much what they are. So they're offered the opportunity of 2 million Kruj, which in their world, I'm not exactly sure how much money that translates into US dollars, but I'm assuming it's a lot. Anyway, they're offered 2 million Kruj to pull off this heist to steal this magic powder called parem. It's like this magic powder that you inhale and it makes you like control the elements around you. You can control other people and pretty much you're just like high on life. Anyway, this parem is supposed to be used to control the Grisha, which are like wizards essentially in their world. So this group of people are offered a lot of money to go steal the scientist or the creator of this parem, this magic powder. During their journey of trying to go through the heist, we see the relationships intermingle with each other, how they get along, sort of the conflict and resolutions that they each have with each other, and we also uncover deeper truths about them. I will say that the actual heist in the story does not really occur until like 250 pages in the book. So if you're thinking this is going to be a super action-packed book right from the gate, you're wrong. This book is extremely character-driven. So, speaking of characters, let's get into those. Alright, so the characters in the book. These characters were super dynamic. I really love how Leigh Bardugo focuses very heavily on their backstories. It was really interesting to see kind of where they all came from and what their motive was for completing this heist and how the money would be beneficial to them. Obviously, I'm a huge Kaz fan because he is such a badass in my opinion. But he also has this very mysterious air about him. He's one to have like a trick up his sleeve kind of guy. And he's giving me very like Scorpio energy, if you feel what I'm saying. I also really like Inej. I thought that she was a super cool girl, very down to earth, a total queen, very badass as well, and I really enjoyed learning her backstory. All of the characters were super interesting, and I love their relationships together, especially Kaz and Inej. I hope and wish that they get together. You really saw this like this push and pull with their emotions in between them, even though they're like never gonna get together ever, ever, ever. I will say, in the book, they're supposed to be quite young, like 17, 18, 16 years old. But I feel like the things that they do makes them older. I just could not see them as like these 17-year-old kids. They felt like adults. They felt like they should at least be in their 20s or 30s. I don't know. Did anyone else feel that way? All right, so my final thoughts on the story is I really enjoyed Six of Crows. I thought it was super fun to read. I read this, it took me like, I don't know, probably 4 days to read it because it is quite a heavy book, but I was entertained the entire time. My major gripes with this is that the story was a bit choppy because sometimes it would like go back in time, then it would jump forward, then it's like, okay, are we learning about the character? Is this the heist that we're talking about? What are we actually talking about? Is it back to the characters? Like, what is actually going on? So it was a bit choppy for me where you really had to pay attention or you would totally feel lost. A second thing is, if you are not familiar with the whole Grishaverse, and you have not read Shadow and Bone and any other of the Grishaverse stories, you may feel slightly lost in this because there are tons of references to it. Although it's not like required that you read it, I would highly recommend that you do because there are a lot of references thrown in here. And if you don't understand it, I would highly recommend that you read Shadow and Bone, and what's the other one? Fire and Stone, I think I'm probably getting those wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I would highly recommend reading those first before you get into these. That way you can have just a better context over the overall story. So my rating of this book, I gave this book a 4 stars. Overall, I thought this book was super fun to read, very engaging, and I loved the development of the characters. I think the real thing missing was it was very character heavy, and I found it a little choppy with the plot, like it would go back and forth. And I'm not a big fan of flashbacks in books. Even in movies, I do not like flashbacks a lot, so when it kept like going back to the past and the present, and then it was like back to the heist and back to the characters and what they're doing in present tense and then past, I just felt like it was a little overwhelming, and they just should focus on the central story, which is this heist, and I wanted to know more of that in the beginning rather than at the very end. But that was my major gripe of the book overall, but I think that it was a solid 4 stars. I would recommend this if you like something that is character heavy, if you like something that's fun. I don't think it was too heavy of a read. I will say I am not the biggest fantasy reader. I do really enjoy reading fantasy, but maybe I'm judging this a little harshly. I don't know, because most people I talk to absolutely love this book and they give it like 5 stars. I will say I'm not like the best person to probably judge fantasy novels, but overall I thought that it was a good solid 4-star read. I had tons of fun reading it. Alright, so that was my general thoughts on this book, Six of Crows. Again, I thought that it was super fun to read and I definitely enjoyed it. I'd highly recommend it if you do like a fantasy story and you like character-driven plots. I don't know if that's really a thing, but if you like stories with a lot of character development, definitely read this one. Let me know in the comments below, have you read Crooked Kingdom? Have you read Six of Crows? What do you think about this series? And what do you think about it coming to Netflix? Are we excited? Are we nervous about it? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video and want to see more videos, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe if you please. You can follow me on my Instagram as well so you can see all of the bookish things that I post. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I appreciate all of you, and I hope to see you on the next video.